Hi folks, Radham Hill here on the Radham Hill YouTube channel, the channel that aims to help men be the best that they can be. So today I'm going to talk to you about a subject that's very close to my heart. It's basically about training, about health, about fitness, but in particular, it's about getting the toned look that a lot of men desire, that really athletic kind of like toned look of their bodies that many men desire, but find it quite hard and challenging to achieve. I mean, at the end of the day, one of the things that we all look for is, in our physicality, is a lot of men want to have the big biceps, the big chest, the flat stomach look, the really toned look that we really enjoy going out in public or wearing the clothes that we wear and looking basically good for our friends and for everyone else and for ourselves and feeling good in how we look. And in order to get that toned athletic look, we do a lot of training and a lot of a lot of people, first of all, try to lose all the excess body fat that they have by doing a lot of cardiovascular training, which is a good thing, but also a lot of weight training in order to get the actual that muscle look without looking too big, without looking like a huge kind of like, bodybuilder type. I mean, not everybody wants that look. Some guys do, some guys don't. But either way, to get the overall athletic toned look, it takes a certain number of things that you have to do, which I recently realized and which I thought, well, I would share with you. So, like I said, a lot of guys want to have the big biceps, the big chest, the flat stomach, and they actually train those areas. So a lot of guys will kind of like train their biceps and only train the front area of their bodies, of their arms here, and only train their chest, for example, the pectorals here, and do a lot of sit-ups and so on, and all the exercises that are associated with getting a flat stomach, and then of course also do some cardiovascular to actually make that extra fat that you might have on your stomach area disappear and then expose the abdominals underneath. And that's all great stuff, because we really focus, a lot of guys have a tendency to focus predominantly on actually what is visible at the front, and what they think is going to be the thing that they need to work on in order to look good. But I tried that, for a few years, and I guess I was quite naive in many respects. I only found out a couple of years ago that there's something else you have to do in order to get that toned athletic look, because I was training all these front areas, and I was thinking, okay, it's great, I'm getting a big chest, I'm getting these big bicep muscles, but it just somehow didn't look right. I couldn't quite get the definition that I wanted and the shape that I wanted, when you get the really clear cut muscular shape. And I sort of like was thinking about what is the reason, until I spoke to somebody who's been training for many years in the gym, and they said to me, look, what you need to do is not just train that which is visible at the front. In order for you to get big biceps and to have that big bicep, that big arm look, that big bicep look, you actually have to train what's behind the bicep, probably more than the biceps themselves, actually. You probably have to do 3 times more training, for example, on your triceps, rather than just focusing on the biceps. And then you also have to maybe focus on the deltoids, which are basically these muscles up here, which will actually then basically pull the biceps and this whole area back to expose that kind of like very, very toned kind of like cuts within your arm, which show a very clear definition of your biceps. But in order to get that definition, you have to do what's behind in order to make what's in front more visible. So that's like a little trick I learned, and I realized that this is a very important thing that we can all do. And so, for example, let's take your pecs, for example. For your pecs, again, you would probably do your pecs. Of course, you do your chest muscles here at the front, which are really visible. But in addition to these exercises, you also need to do some exercises on, again, your deltoids, which are up here, slightly above the pecs, right in this region here. And this pulls back and then exposes the pecs a little bit more and gives that more clear-cut definition that you really want, right? And you also have to do your trapezius, right? The muscles that are right at the back here, just behind your shoulders there. And that pulls everything back and you actually then even your posture becomes better, and your definition becomes better, and you start to move towards that kind of like toned look. So the overall thing that I want to say is that, you know, focusing on what's visible on the front is great, but sometimes you actually have to do 3 times as much exercise on what's not visible on the back area, what's behind the muscle that you're trying to expose, in order for that to actually expand and grow and pull back your whole structure, so that the front area is more exposed. And so it's a really, really amazing, basically is a bit of knowledge that I guess any person who's been training for a few years will eventually learn. But a lot of guys don't do that because they don't actually know that, and they don't realize, and they just focus on what's on front. So similarly, you know, if you talk about your abs, now abs is a little bit special because with the abs, you know, the only thing that you have directly behind the abs is your organs, and then you obviously your back muscles there, right? But the thing is, so that makes it a little bit difficult to train anything that's behind the abs directly, because there's nothing there directly behind. It's just organs. So what you can do, however, the good thing about the abs is that you have to, in order for you to enhance the whole abdominal area, there are a lot of muscles surrounding the abdominal area. For example, the abdominal oblique muscles here on the sides, you know, here on the sides you can see. And these muscles, again, there are a number of exercises that you can do on the abdominal obliques. And then there is the actual latissimus dorsi, which is probably the largest muscle in your body, and which is all along down your upper back, basically, the largest muscle. That is basically your entire back, you know, your entire upper back. And that muscle itself, you know, there are a lot of trainings, you know, for example, the pull down training that you can do, that actually pulls that muscle, that actually exercises that particular muscle, the latissimus dorsi on the back. That exercise you need to do, and, you know, in many ways you will actually find that you start to enhance your abdominal area, because you start to lose this middle kind of like fat on the side, and it starts to become more defined, and then it starts to define more what's on the front. So basically the whole message of this video is, of course, there are many exercises and trainings that you can do, but the whole message of this video is to start looking maybe a little bit wider across the board, to do slightly different exercises to what you're normally doing, to just expose what's on the front, and start looking at other muscle groups and other muscle areas, because you'll be amazed at how much toning you can get from on the exposed areas, the areas you really want to show off, you know, if you do all those other muscle group trainings. And so that's something just I wanted to share, because I learned about that in the last couple of years. I started to change my training routine, and I can tell you it's damn hard work, because when you actually start to train muscles that are I guess you haven't used before, you know, your blood, your heart rate goes right up, because it's the first time your heart is pushing out blood to those areas to such an extent. So your heart rate goes up, it hurts, it's horrible to start with, but as you start to see the results, wow, it's amazing, because you start to get that toned look which you've always dreamed about, and the feeling is amazing. And actually, of course, as you get used to any exercise, that's the case with any exercise, it gets easier as you go along, and the more you lift, the stronger your muscles become, and the less pain you experience in future training sessions. So, you know, just stick with it, don't be fearful of it, just do that, and you'll start to see this like a completely different structure to your body, and you think, wow, could that be my body, you know, when you look in the mirror. And another thing is, of course, with training is consistency. You've got to keep going, you've got to keep training, you've got to keep training. As long as you're healthy and your medical practitioner says you're okay, you know, you don't have any problems with your heart, you don't have any problems with your, you know, your glucose levels or any other things, as long as you're like relatively healthy, and even if you're not, even if you have those problems, you know, as long as you train within the limits of what you're allowed to do, you know, by your doctor. But otherwise, you know, if you're good and you've been training for a few years, but you didn't know quite how to get that kind of like toned look, that athletic look, to get that like, you know, to get the structure that you really want, this is a trick, or this is a way that I found that this is actually the right way to do it, and the results are amazing. So if you like this video, Like I say, this channel is aimed at helping men be the best that they can. Of course, women can look at these videos as well. It's not like restricted just for men. And in fact, probably great for women as well, this particular video, and also great for women who have a man in their life who you might want to show these videos to. Why not? You know, it makes a better man out of all of us. For you, ladies, for you. So basically, hope you enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe. Please do also feel free to leave comments and leave subject matters in the actual comments area, so that I can actually pick up on those and build videos for you that actually are relevant to you, about questions that you have in your mind and things that you want to know about. And I will research that, and I will find out, and I will make more videos just for you guys. So please subscribe, please leave comments, please like, and please share it across the social media networks, the Radom Hill channel, and all the videos that I make. They're just for you, and I hope that you enjoyed this today. See you soon, and have a great day.